It's Cartoon Hangout, whoa, with Archaic King as your host. It's time to review some great cartoons, from Craig of the Creek to Scooby-Doo. Hello lords and ladies, welcome back to Cartoon Hangout, your place for all things cartoon.
Hello lords and ladies. Welcome back to Cartoon Hangout, your place for all things cartoon, and the first of this month's filler content, otherwise known as one-off reviews, because I can't think of a better name for it.
Total Drama Island.
I've been a huge fan of the Total Drama series since it first aired back in, 2007? 2008? I've seen every episode of every season, and I don't think I could really say anything negative about it as a whole. We don't see too many competition cartoons these days, so when Total Drama came around, it was a real breath of fresh air. And despite a large cast of characters to juggle, it somehow managed to be both well written and funny. You really connected with the characters and became invested in their stories, their lives, and their drama. I plan to talk about the second most recent series, Redonkulous Race, back when it premiered, but I had trouble really reviewing the show. Not because the show was bad, it was just the format of the series, I suppose. So, of course, when Total DramaRama came around, I knew I needed to at least talk about its first episode, Venthalla. I'll start us off by saying that I was very concerned about this new spinoff. Couple the fact is yet another 22-minute cartoon decreased to a runtime of 11 minutes, with the show being a rather late entry into the babyfication trend, and you get a big red flag from old Archaic King here. The Total Drama cast as kids seemed like such a weird creative choice, almost like you could argue they ran out of ideas for competitions or races, so the writers just said screw it and placed the characters into a daycare setting. Still, I was surprised how fun the first episode was. It's as simple as the characters working to get Owen's ball back from Chef Hatchet, but it was very entertaining once I got past the initial WTF, they're all kids reaction. The confessionals and much of the humor you would expect from Total Drama is still there, just with some added surrealness to it, such as Owen randomly having a third arm and not knowing whose it is.
On the one hand, Noah is right. On the other hand, Duncan is right. On the other hand... Hey! Whose hand is that?
Or Chef walking around not knowing Duncan replaced his eye with a freaking marble. You'd think you would groan at these jokes, but they're played off really well, a credit to the writers and to the animators. By the time Owen and friends were in the vents, I was invested in these Tiny Toon versions of the Total Drama cast. Plus 16's Jude for some unexplained reason. Despite the juvenile setting, it felt like a real adventure. A feeling I don't often get from other shows on Cartoon Network. And maybe that's due to this being made by Fresh TV Incorporated and not Cartoon Network proper. Another mark in its favor is that it's still created by the same two people who started the franchise to begin with, Tom and Jennifer. I think that fact is why Total DramaRama still feels like Total Drama and not some shallow copy by someone else. So, while the gut reaction may be to write this show off as Cartoon Network taking yet another beloved series and throwing it to another generation, based on this first episode, I think I can suggest that this is still for fans of the original series. If they ever wanted to know what toddler versions of their favorite characters are like, that is. The humor and writing has not really changed too much. It's still weird, and will garner many a chuckle from you and probably even your kids. A highlight for me was Gwen, one of my favorites from the original, who is now an adorable goth toddler who talks about crane accidents and predicts the other characters' deaths in a vent. So yeah, it's yet another 11-minute Cartoon Network comedy, but so far it's actually good, which is a huge distinction. Don't believe me? Go check it out for yourself, and then come back and let me know your thoughts on the series. Thanks for watching, go buy my merch, watch my 2019 plans video, and take care.